As I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Mr. Stuff's DSPgaming intelligent reaction videos. Now, with E3 literally right around the corner, because E3, I believe, is from June 12th to the 14th. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure that's when it is. As you know, it's that time of the year where Phil gets to sit down, give you his analysis on the games that will be coming up later on in the year, also leading into the next calendar year, and what games he'll be interested in, what games that he's not, so on and so forth. It's never really a fun time watching him do it, so I usually just go to Almighty Tevin, praise be Almighty, go to Tevin's stream, and I'll actually watch it there if he decides to do it this year. Hopefully he does, and that right there will be entertaining. Choose whatever medium that you want to go through to view it, but I think it's fair to say who's going to catch more views. In any case, reaction videos, intelligent reaction videos. Phil hasn't done reaction videos in a while. They weren't very good when he was doing them, so it makes you wonder what he's talking about with that. Being that he is focusing on Twitch pretty seriously this year, I assume that this argument here is this statement, I should say, is actually going to be run through Twitch. That's going to be his medium. So we'll wait and see how that all plays out. As it pertains to Phil bashing other content creators, I would expect that also. This is kind of just part of the course for any DSP video. The reality is, well, let's talk about the mythos a little bit when it comes to Phil Brunel, Dark Side Phil, DSP. Phil says he's on an island all of his own. He doesn't watch other YouTubers. He doesn't watch any other Twitch streamers because he wants to be real. He wants to be authentic. He wants to be honest. He's the most honest person on YouTube. Watching other people's content would only taint him. Phil has been giving us raw, uncut, unedited, uncensored material for over 10 years now. And he did it by doing it his own way. And that's why he's the man that he is. That's why he has his house in Seattle, his condo in Connecticut, his car, his live-in maid / soulmate / girlfriend. That's why he's on top of the mountain. Now, he has fallen a little bit in years, but he's still here. He's still doing what he loves. And he brings that content for the people who care about him and wish to see him succeed. That's the myth. That's the propaganda that is spewed off by him and his followers on a daily basis. Let's talk about the reality for a minute. The reality is Phil gave you guys lazy content for 10 fucking years. He gave it to you because people enabled him to do it. And anytime at any time previous, when people tried to give him good suggestions, he shot it down and said, well, look at the popularity that I've gained. I don't need that. While he took shots at the people who came up around the same time as him, who moved up past their 200,000 mark, which Phil never hit, and are now most of those people are in the millions now. But Phil said he wasn't given the fair shot that they were given, or they sold out and they went ahead and did things that went against his own personal code. And that's the reason why he's not as big as they are. That's the reality. That's what Phil thinks, because he didn't sell out. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't play the game. You know what I mean? Is the reason why he was held back while others were able to move forward. And then he took shots at the methods that were produced to make content better. All of those different ways of going about creating better content, Phil bashed at one time or another. And then when he decided to jump on some of those trends, when he decided to implement some of these tactics or methods or whatever the case may be, he made it seem like it was such a big deal when at that time they were the standard. It was standard operating procedure at that point. But Phil spent all that time shitting on it or saying, oh, that takes away from how authentic I am to do it. So between him staying behind the times, by him walloping in his own laziness and his own filth and whatnot, him taking pop shots at everybody else who wanted to advance, who wanted to bring the best quality content that they could to their fan bases, and in turn continue to grow and expand those fan bases, while Phil just sat there and walloped with the 2 or 3, 400 miserable people that were over there with him. Time passed him by. Opportunities passed him by. And whatever opportunities that he did have, he was too lazy to even push the narrative on those. Hence the reason why sponsorship doesn't stay with Phil in the long term. He doesn't do enough to push it. Jesus Christ, you were living with a girlfriend who was selling soap and you barely pushed that. Barely. I mean, if I remember correctly, even back in those days, Patreon got way more attention than Leanna did. But that's neither here nor there. Okay? Who's about saving the pandas these days anyway? In any case, let's go ahead and get into the video. I've rambled on long enough. And we'll see if we can make anything out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
Alright, Boa Hancock here. This is where you stream while you're watching E3. No, here's the way I cover E3. It's the way I've always covered it. And let me clarify. Alright. When an E3 press conference is happening, let's say the Sony press conference starts in 5 minutes. What we'll all do is we'll join my Twitch channel. And if you guys join the stream chat, I'll talk with you guys in the stream chat while we all collectively watch that stream together. In fact, I believe there's a way to get my channel to host the stream. So let's say I could tell it purposely host the Sony press conference. We can all watch the press conference on my channel together and talk about it in the stream chat while it's live. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to be taking notes, copious notes, and formulating opinions about everything that I actually see in this press conference. Then immediately when the press conference ends, I will go live, and it will be basically kind of a podcast that's a dual purpose. I will summarize everything that is said on the press conference, so that way you don't have to watch it yourself and spend hours watching fluff. And I will give you my opinions on what shows up at the press conference. All right. So in effect, you don't actually need to watch the E3 press conferences if you watch my stuff, because I summarize the press conferences for you and then give you my take on it immediately following the summarizations. All right. No, I don't watch the press conferences live with a webcam superimposed over it and then do silly faces and go, oh, wow, oh, my God, I'm so bad. Oh, I'm jizzing in my pants because I announced a new game. Oh, hype, E3 hype. No, I don't do that. I don't do that because I believe firmly that is stupid, it's worthless, it's fucking immature, and it's basically meant for a generation of people that I don't really connect with. I'm sorry if you love watching, oh my God, live reaction to trailers, live reaction to fucking E3. I'm totally not of that at all. I want to watch, when I watch content on the internet, all right, I want to watch someone who has formulated an intelligent opinion, who is not just making a video for the hype and for the money. I want to watch someone who's actually adding some kind of critical commentary, some kind of contribution based on their own personal experience or their knowledge of the industry. That's what I want, an intelligent video, intelligent content. Not, oh, E3 hype, oh yeah.
All right, let me jump in through that. Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, we're here with Mr. Stuff's Dspgaming intelligent reaction videos. This was published on May 25th. I'm currently recording this on the 27th of May. First things first, as it pertains to Phil hosting the Sony conference, interacting with people in the chat, and then while he's also taking his notes and then going over the press conference, it may not necessarily be a bad idea, to be honest. If you're hosting a particular channel, I don't think it takes. I remember Tevin saying that when you host someone's channel, it doesn't take anything. It doesn't take any views away from the actual, from the original stream. So he's not necessarily cutting into Sony at all. If I remember that correctly. So that might be a good look. It might actually draw some attention in to his stream. And then, in turn, if they want to stick around to hear what he has to say afterwards, maybe he can pull some other people. It might be a smart move, as long as Phil doesn't bollocks it. We'll have to wait and see on that. As it pertains to Phil not connecting with this generation, I don't think Phil really connects to any generation, to be honest with you. I think he connects to a certain type of individual. But that's neither here nor there. That will require further analysis, I think, on my part. So we'll have to wait and see. If you don't connect, but I will say this, if you're not connecting with certain people, or if you feel that you're just way more mature than them, or so on and so forth, bashing them for what they find entertaining is certainly the wrong way of going about it. But that is the DSP way. So what are you going to do?
Oh, look at my face. Look at my overreaction. Give me monies.
There we go. That was actually the point that I almost forgot. The whole concept of I want to see someone give me a intelligent reaction that is concise and is not about money. Phil, in this day and age, everything's about money. You yourself are a walking contradiction when you sit there and have the nerve to say, oh, I want to see someone produce content that's good and who isn't concerned about money. If they do it for a living, then obviously money's involved. You, of all people, have no right to say anything about anybody and what kind of content that they put out, and they only do it for money when you yourself are in that exact same boat. And in turn, have it worse because you made a whole bunch of money, you weren't smart enough to save any of it, and now you rely on people to pay you money, to pay your bills, and to do this, that, and the third, just so you can run around and take pop shots, call people shills, and do this, that, and the third? You silly fool.
No.
You silly pig. You really are.
I don't do that, and I never will. I think it's fucking stupid as fuck. Alright? I do. And I'm sorry, that will always be my opinion. You're not going to change my opinion. You can personally have a different opinion than me, and I'm okay with that. But my own personal opinion is that is a complete waste of everyone's time.
If you're okay with people having a different opinion than yourself, why are threads on your own forums being taken down when they have a different opinion than you? Why are people taken off of your stream chat, banned or suspended off of your stream chat for having a different opinion? Why are you blocking people on Twitter? Most of those people who have never actually tweeted at you or said anything to you, why are they blocked off of? Why do you have them blocked on Twitter for having a different opinion than you? I don't know. I think King of Hypocrisy needs to go ahead and just pass his name on to you. He really does. And run out. Actually, they should call you the King of Sensitivity, but that goes to that title's being held by Queen Swaggins. So, what are you gonna do?
It's fluff
Not everybody can be King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. So, there you go. Even though you guys do make a good couple, though.
Content made straight for money. It has nothing to do with quality, and I would never put out that shit. Okay? So no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing my usual, critical commentary style on the E3 content immediately following each press conference. Alright? Alright. Fair enough. YOLO Dobber just cheered. He said, Phil, you cannot blame people for getting popular for drama and hype videos because that is the current trend on YouTube. Times change. In your time, it was raw playthroughs, but now people are looking for drama and reaction videos. Alright. So here's the thing. Can I blame people for getting blame? I don't think blame is the right word. All right. No. Blame. You are at fault because you made a style of video that caters to the lowest common denominator, and it got popular on YouTube's. No, blame is not the right word. But
first things first. Are you saying that the audience, the group of people who like those type of reaction those type of reaction videos? Are you saying that they are the lowest common denominator as it pertains to an audience that enjoys a style of content? You're not. You're really, really good, Phil, at not making friends or bringing people to your side. Outside of brainwashing, I mean, why would you say that? To be honest with you, like, why would you say some silly piggy shit like that? See, Phil, this is the reason why. This is the reason why you're infamous. To be honest with you, you like blaming the detractors and so on and so forth, and obviously the detractors have their hands in that. But you yourself, yet again, are your greatest detractor. You are your greatest enemy. And I used to just think they were just small lapses in judgment. I used to think that, honestly. I used to think that they were just small lapses in judgment, but now it's just who you are. And you sit there, and that's why everybody else is at fault instead of you. Because it has to fit your narrative. You're an idiot. You're very incoherent. You can't see anything beyond your grubby little hands. You don't have any type of respect or consideration for anybody else but yourself. And that's why you say stupid shit. And that's why you're okay with it. Like, that Twitter situation was something completely different. Like, you couldn't spin a narrative fast enough, and all the people who tried to come to your aid immediately got shot down rather easily from what I saw. And you had no choice but to come out and say you were sorry, because after taking some time to really think about it, you were scared of Twitch. You were scared that Twitch was gonna throw the hammer on you. And that's the only reason why you apologized. Outside of that, I think you would have ridden that out. Because what do you care if a group of people that you don't know don't like you? Why should anybody care? But see, when they went after Twitch, when they went after the bank, when they went after the bank, then all of a sudden you got scared. Then all of a sudden you got worried. Then all of a sudden you needed to go ahead and try to pull damage control, and you tried to fight a few people off. That didn't work either, which only wasted more time. And then you decided to apologize and take that tweet down. The concept of opinions is everybody can have one. It's just you have to be a bit more, and this is just not for DSP, this is for a lot of people. You just kind of need you got to be able to read the room a little bit, I guess. You have to be a little bit more mindful of what you're saying. You can have an opinion and articulate it in a way to where people aren't exactly turning against you while you're still making your point, which is something Phil's never been good at doing. Hence the reason why he's in the situation he's in now. But you're calling people the lowest common denominator. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that about your own fan base, Phil. So for you to step out of your face and say that about somebody else, a group that is much larger than you. The reaction community is huge, and their fan base is even bigger. If you were scared about what happened on Twitch, if someone from the reaction community really wanted to read into this and try to just be like, you know what, let's go ahead and go after him, you would be screwed on YouTube. I mean, you're screwed now, but you would be really, really screwed on YouTube. Like, you coming back is just not going to be a good idea. Which, sadly, it's going to be an inevitability. You're gonna lose Twitch eventually, Phil. It'll be by your own doing. It won't be by a detractor. It'll be by you. You're going to lose Twitch eventually. And then you're going to have no choice but to come back to YouTube. And it's just, the landscape isn't, you don't want this. You don't want to come back to YouTube, man. Whatever. What will happen will happen.
I have a personal opinion. My personal opinion is that if you are a content creator that literally only does videos for drama purposes, for hype purposes, fluff, everything you do is fluff, right? You don't actually perform any skillful kind of thing in anything that you do.
What do you do that's so skillful? Don't worry, Phil. I'll wait.
I'm sorry. That is just not, in my opinion, something quality that I would want to watch. I would never just watch a fluff drama video. I would never watch my live trailer reaction video. That's garbage to me. That's like, I might as well.
And you've done both of those at different times throughout your career, and I use that loosely. But all of a sudden it's garbage to you. Gotcha. And yet, that fluff content that you say you don't have any time for and it's trash and whatever the case may be, don't you watch the tractor videos? And I'm not saying that the tractor videos are trash or fluff. You said that. But yet, you watch that pretty frequently. And that's been proven over the last few weeks. Some people have held on to that view since the beginning, but because obviously you were trying to take videos down. Like Snorpinell, for example. You've been gunning after Snorpinell for the longest, and you still are, according to certain sources. But we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, you know, that's just like watching reality TV, the fucking Kardashians, right? That kind of shit. I don't watch that either. You know what I mean? I stay away from it. And so that's my personal opinion. And it's not going to change. You know, I'm sorry, but I'm a different generation than a lot of people who watch my stuff. And I don't have any kind of
If that's the case, I'm glad you've come to that realization. If you're a different generation from the people who watch that type of stuff, then why are you bashing it? It doesn't even... You're not on their radar, and they are certainly not on your radar. So why pop shots at them? You know what I'm saying? Why wake the sleeping giant if that's the case? Like I said, man, you'll sooner than later you'll bring your own demise, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. You really will. There aren't enough Tevins. There are not enough Freddy boys. There's not enough of anybody out there that when you fall from Twitch, Phil, that you can blame. There really won't. I just bring those two gentlemen up because they're considered his greatest detractors, but you won't be able to blame them forever. You really won't, and that's getting tiring already. It's getting old to hear him bring up SOK, bring up Freddy Boyd, bringing up Tevin. It's old. It's old and pathetic, actually, to be honest with you. That's all you have on the ball. For every flaw, for every mistake that he's made, he has to blame two other men for doing that. It just gets old. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Have they? Did either one of them play a part? I guess that's a matter of an opinion, I suppose. But you can't blame them forever. At the end of the day, you didn't completely fall. You were able to climb back up, and you were just too lazy to. So you asked people to carry you up. And even then, they're getting tired of doing it. Or they just can't.
Desire to watch reality TV. I don't have any desire to watch trailer reactions or drama videos. I'm 36 years old. I'd much rather watch informative, intelligent content with people who are, who do hard work and, earn my view. Versus
what do you know about hard work?
Someone who's just, I'm just here to talk shit all day.
That sounds like you.
Or just do a silly face during a trailer to try to say something really stupid or dramatic about someone, an insult video or something.
That sounds like you too. Insult and dramatic videos? Doing stupid little faces during your little playthroughs and whatnot? Are those reactionary videos? No, not necessarily, but you do use that same tactic in your playthroughs, which doesn't help at all. Your playthroughs are trash. They really are. Like, I always knew they were garbage, and I had seen a couple of them, but, like, as of recent, I've been really trying to, like, sit down and actually watch a couple of them, and I can't. I just can't. Like, I can't watch. I watch way too much Volt Boy, David Davison, Memology 101, Gal Police. Like, that's just to name a few. I've watched S. Julius Cruz. I watch way too much of their content. Quality content at that. I watch way too much of their content to go back there and watch Phil's uncensored, not even uncensored, just unfiltered bullshit. It's just too much. It's too much. It takes like 3 of Phil's videos to make a point where I can watch any one of those guys' videos and catch it in like 2 minutes. It's way too much. It's a war of attrition within oneself, and I just can't do it. I really can't.
I don't care about that shit. I'm way too old for that shit. Real talk, okay? But you know what? Younger people might like it, fine. So there's a whole generation of people that got popular on YouTube and whatever for doing it. If you want to see their garbage content, because it's garbage in my opinion, go right ahead and watch it. I'm not one to say, watch this and don't watch this. I mean, you guys are here on my stream watching me. I'm appreciative of that. I wouldn't want someone else to tell you, don't go watch Dark Side Phil, right? So I'm not going to be here and stand on a soapbox and say, don't watch what you like. But sometimes in life, you just...
Wait a second. Didn't you once call out... Actually, not even once. A few times. Haven't you called out people within your own fan base for watching detractor content and then coming back to you with questions on what was said? And didn't you say, hey man, you need to stop, you need to get yourself away from that toxicity. You can't sit there and get into the toilet with these people and it's just screwing you up, man, and you need to stop. Did you not say that? I distinctly remember you saying that on a couple of different occasions to a couple of different people. Well, that goes back to my opening report about reality and then what Phil's myth is. So, there you go.
Got to kind of look back, look in the mirror and say, what am I doing with my time? You know, there's people out there making certain kinds of content that some might find meaningful and some might just find, as not. And, you have a limited time to spend on this planet. Maybe you should, put a little bit of thought into what you actually watch versus just watching what's popular. I'm just saying, a lot of the times, what's popular isn't necessarily good. It's just popular for popularity's sake, and that's not a good thing. That's how we get people like the Kardashians all over every facet of our fucking lives because they're on TV, they're in ads, they're selling garbage products, they're doing everything. You can't get away from them. I could personally, if I...
But no one's saying that the Kardashians are good. No one's saying what they produce is good. Like, it's a name. It's something that people... I can't speak for everybody, I guess, because I don't watch the Kardashians either. But it's my general understanding that people watch them because they're a train wreck. They're rich. Not wealthy, but they're rich. And they have problems. They have everyday problems, to my general understanding, and whatnot. And people like to see that. People like to see, and I use the word successful loosely, but they've made it this far, so you can't say that they're not successful. But then again, could you call Dark Side Phil successful, being that he's made it this far, but he's not rich? But then do you use money as a measuring stick for success? Because Phil because Phil isn't even really that well known. He's infamous, yes, but he's not well known. Like, because the misconception about Dark Side Phil is he's known for a bunch of different things, but a lot of it's just innuendo. A lot of it's kind of is mistaken. For example, that cloud situation where they thought Phil pulled a knife out on somebody on at an Evo when he didn't. So there's a lot of misconception in Phil's mythos. I don't know. That's a hard one, to be honest. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit further. I guess it depends on what your measure of success is. The Kardashians are rich, at least to my general understanding. They're more infamous too because they're really more infamous because of the fact that when you look at a Kardashian, you really just want to see the train wreck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they have a hardcore fan base that will defend them just like Phil does. But have you actually seen them do anything really meaningful? Bunch of TV shows, maybe a couple of cameo appearances, but that's it. They never really were able to move up to that next step, which is something that they all wanted. But none of them were able to do it. I don't know. I might do a video on that, comparing DSP to the Kardashians. Obviously, DSP is going to lose that, but I don't know. The Kardashians have a lot of lore, and I've read a lot of it. I don't watch their shit, but I've read a lot about it. I don't know. I have to think about that. That actually might be a good argument. Let's keep it moving because this is already getting a little longer than it should be. But I'll try to remember that for a future project, though. I'll try to remember that.
I had never heard about a Kardashian in my life. My life probably would have been better. But sad.
How did the Kardashians... Oh, wow. Now the Kardashians are detractors, too? It's confirmed right here, ladies and gentlemen. The Kardashians are detractors. Also, apparently the plumber... I saw that in a Memology 101 video. Apparently the plumber that had to come out to Phil's house is apparently a detractor, too. Because, remember, ladies and gentlemen, whenever somebody takes money from DSP, Darkside Phil Burnell. They're a detractor. Gotta remember that. I'll try to link that video in my description if I remember to.
They're shoved down my throats every 2 seconds because people made them into celebrities for no reason. So that's what you're doing when you're watching that kind of shovelware.
In truth, the only reason why you are where you are is because the only reason why you are where you're at currently is because people memed you up. So in truth, that goes back to what people have been saying, is that if it wasn't for the detractors, Phil wouldn't have a leg to stand on. And that goes back to, that goes into another argument that the only reason why Phil is where he's at, the only reason why people are willing to give him money, this, that, and the third, is not because they want to support Phil, or at least not all of them. It's because they hate the people that hate Phil. That's all it is. It's they found a cause that they could fight for, and that's the only reason why they're doing all this. Which is worse if you think about it, because when you think about the gifted sub situation that he has going on, it proves that very point. When Almighty Tevin, when Theo, when Argent, when anybody makes a video clowning Phil about his, well, yeah, I'd say clowning Phil about his sub count, a couple of days later, or right before the sub goal needs to be reached, all of a sudden, mysteriously, all these gifted subs are thrown out there to bring it back up. Interesting. So it's never about, oh, we want to support Phil for the sake of supporting Phil. Or it's not about the word of mouth of, hey, tell your friends to come and watch a Darkside Phil stream and whatnot. He makes good content, dude. It's, oh, these guys say that Phil's going to fail, and I don't want to see that because I want to keep beefing with these guys. I want to prove them wrong. I want to show that they're assholes. So I'm going to go ahead and give subs to Phil. Alrighty.
Content. Oh, I like reaction trailer, drama video. This person did nothing. All they did was create kiddie drama for little kids, and you bought into it. You know what I mean? So, again, if you like that, fine, go watch it. But, you know, some of us, you gotta sit back with the time we have and realize we have limited time and spend it on better shit. Okay? All right. Shout out to Judicious Echoes, who did a 200-bit cheer. He says, grab a few drinks. Just got some hot takes. Oh, give some hot takes. Don't be a... Oh, okay, let's try this again. He's talking about if I did live reactions. Okay? He says, grab a few drinks, give some hot takes. Don't have to be a clown. Post-analysis is boring. Well, Judicious Echoes, there you go. I guess your opinion of what's entertaining is different from mine.
Why do you always have to be condescending when it comes to this shit? Like, seriously, Phil, just read the goddamn message, man, and then give your opinion on it. Don't sit here and go into these fucking pathetic little voices you like to make and this, that, and the third because you hate it when people do that to you. But yet you do it to the very fan base that you're supposed to be trying to hold on to. Seriously, you get nothing out of it. It just makes you look more and more like an idiot. So idiots like me can point that out and make you look even more like an asshole.
I want informative analysis and opinions based on people thinking before they speak. I don't...
Something that you yourself don't even do.
Want, raw, off the cuff, silly reaction that's complete fluff garbage. I don't want that. But you might want that. So then you can watch...
But that's what you produce, though. You produce fluffed garbage. Sorry, Phil. When a detractor puts way more time, effort, thought, and in almost all of their cases, except for mine, but in almost all of their cases, real talent into what they do, that doesn't make their stuff fluff. I'm sorry. That doesn't make their stuff garbage or trash content. Not compared to your stuff. When someone can take a Darkside Phil video, not even a Darkside Phil video, think about this for a second, a clip of Darkside Phil and get thousands of views on it when Phil can't even get a couple hundred, that tells you something. You want a really good example of that? Wings of Redemption. What's that guy's name? It's Sean, is it Sean Rinkins? I think his name is. I'm sorry, man, if I'm butchering your last name. But he's like one of the major heavy hitters in the Wings of Redemption community, yeah? He's one of the real heavy hitters. He's the go-to person for content. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of great Wings of Redemption channels out there that you should check out. He's the top dude in that field, though. I think it's fair to say. He takes. I remember I was going through and I was kind of binge watching his channel a little bit. He has videos up there that range from I don't know, like 2.5, 3 minutes up to about maybe less than 10. And we're talking about 20, 30,000 hits per video for like 5 minutes. And it's not a matter of there's any flashy editing or anything like that. He emphasized on a particular aspect of the stream and he brought it out to where at times it would be missed. If you were actually watching the whole live stream from start to finish, you might have missed this part. He plucked that part out and put the emphasis on that so you could get what was there because it was something important. And look at the type of views that he catches. Snorpernell is another one. Mr. Stuffs is another one who grab these parts that most people might miss and they just bring it to the forefront. And it catches all these views when Phil himself can't. But then that goes back to that broke Jedi mind tricks that I keep telling you, where Phil will say something stupid and then immediately fill it with bullshit afterwards so you can forget about it. And that's why Phil needs detractors. Because if he didn't have that, he would eventually fade out on his own. And what I mean by fade out doesn't mean that he would be forced to leave YouTube or even Twitch. It's just he would be in probably a worse situation than he's in now. Detractors make Phil interesting. It's really what they do. They make him interesting. They make him tolerable in a stretch of the imagination. They make him palatable in a lot of ways.
Those reaction videos, and I'll make my own E3 stuff, okay? Judicious Echoes did another 100-bit cheer. He said, I think it would be funny to see the same quality content in regards to the hot takes you give on Twitter is all. That's a jab. He's trying to insult me for a stupid tweet that I made.
Come on, Phil. Don't get butthurt. You can make your way through this.
Last week, which was stupid. And I admittedly deleted the tweet. That's what I mean. So I'm going to do a video that's live reaction without any thought. So I do it, and it's stupid, and I say stupid shit, and I get in trouble for it. Versus if I actually sit here and watch the E3 press conferences and I intelligently digest the information and do a fun reaction video that has a lot of good opinionated stuff in it.
Who determines that it's fun or it's informative? Who actually governs over that to make that opinion, or those opinions I should say?
Based on all kinds of information, that's going to be better quality. When I just do a stupid tweet on Twitter that doesn't even express my actual opinion, it's stupid. I mean, I think Judicious Echoes actually proved my point with this cheer. Basically what he's saying is when you do a hot take, right, a quick one with really no thought to it, you end up doing stupid shit that you don't say or mean. I don't actually mean it. So he just literally proved the reason why I should...
If you didn't mean it, then you wouldn't have tried to defend it before you deleted it. Just saying.
Never ever do a live reaction video because it's a waste of time. It's literally just without any thought put into it, garbage, and that's why I would never do it. So thank you very much, Judicious Echoes. Your attempt to take a jab at me for how dumb I was on Twitter last week actually proved my point why I should never do a live reaction video. You did it. Congratulations.
No, actually, it made you seem like a coward. Here's the thing with Judicious Echo. I hope I pronounced his name right. The situation with that is he put you into a box just a minute ago, and he wanted to hear you intelligently walk yourself out of it, to get yourself out of that box, and you couldn't. He couldn't do it because he's still scared what Twitch might do to him. He's scared that any of these little sound bites or whatnot can be taken and sent to somebody else much bigger than him that could come back down on his head. And so now he basically enclosed himself into a whole nother box within that box. So now he doesn't even want to fight it anymore. Now he's just like, oh, well, now you justify why I'm being a bitch now. Okay? And I say that because if Phil's going to sit there and say, it was my opinion, it was in poor taste, I'm sorry, I didn't necessarily mean that, then so be it. But because you, Phil, keep bringing it up, because you keep calling it stupid, this, that, and the third, and anytime someone tries to put not even real pressure on you, just asks for you to go ahead and clarify a little bit more, you constantly go into this defensive shell mode and whatnot. It makes you a bitch. It makes you a coward in a lot of ways because you're supposed to be the realest man on YouTube. This is what you've based. This is the basis of Dark Side Phil. But now look at Dark Side Phil. Now he's so scared that he doesn't even want to say anything on Twitter no more. He doesn't want to say his active opinions. And now you're starting to get so squeamish that you don't even want to say that on a video anymore. You let him put you in a box that not only did he put you in the box, but you couldn't even figure out a way to get yourself out of it. Instead, you just enclosed yourself into a whole nother one. And then you put yourself into a shell. And you think that's gonna help you. When in truth, it's just gonna be another way for people to keep poking at you. It goes back to something that Theo had said a long time ago, where the detractors and the haters and the trolls and all that, they control Darkside Phil. More so than he's willing to give them credit for. And Phil, yet again, hasn't figured it out yet. He thinks this is almost like Phil's natural instinct, and he doesn't even see it. And that's the sad part when you really think about it.
You did it! I think you've won the day, Judicious Echoes. Congratulations. All right. Third Eye the Third, cheers. So would a landslide stream poll in favor of a live E3 reaction change your mind? Nope. No. Because I know the difference between what's popular and what's good. I'm sorry. There's crap out there that's popular, and I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry.
You know what the difference between what's popular and what's good, and your content doesn't fall under either one of those categories. But you know what's popular and what's good. So what are you saying, Phil? Are you just too lazy to do it? Or are you saying that you don't have the capability of doing it? Because there's nothing wrong with saying that I don't have the ability to do what these other people will have. You can learn, okay? When I say that, I'm saying that currently he doesn't have the ability that these people have. He can learn, though. You can always learn a skill, or you can always develop an ability or a skill. But obviously Phil's too lazy, and he's admitting that he doesn't have it. And you're okay with that, Phil? You're okay with just staying stagnant and not furthering what is your career, because this is what put food on your plate. Well, and mommy and daddy, of course.
I've always been a guy that goes against the grain when it comes to that.
Oh, and Swaggins. Let's not forget about Swaggins.
Crap. Okay. Kick of hypocrisy cheer. Aren't hot takes your raw, unfiltered opinions? If you have to script yourself, how does that make you different from the other phony YouTubers? Well, here's the difference. When you're playing a game live, okay?
Oh my God.
And you are reacting critically on the fly to what's going on in the game, you are not doing a review. You are doing a work in progress, okay? So live commentary during gameplay, even though it's on the cuff, on the fly, and it's not like a well thought out opinion, is still valid commentary because it's cool to see someone's reaction.
Are you really trying to defend this over this whole editing situation? You've already lost that argument, okay? Edited content, live streaming and edited content are two separate mediums, but I'm sorry, but live streaming doesn't beat edited content. It just doesn't. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that true live streaming, meaning that people who are really entertaining, who are really informative, that takes time, obviously. And that takes some talent, obviously. You don't have that, Phil. But you can't sit there and compare the two. Why would you even make that argument? It makes no sense. But now you're trying to defend your live streaming, and your live streaming is trash, and I will call it that, because when you go to a Phil live stream, and I can say this because I was watching Tevin's streams, watching Phil streams. It's basically like stream inception, essentially, where Phil, the majority of his streams, is just blindly just staring off at the screen, and that's it. And we're talking about, it's like that for minutes at a time. There's nothing said there. Every once in a while, he'll gout out a particular little catchphrase of his or something, or he'll sit there and almost in a panic look at the stream chat to see if he got any bits or cheers or something. But other than that, it's just dead air for minutes at a time, for episodes at a time. If you're watching him on YouTube, that's not streaming. I'm sorry, that's not streaming. So what you're saying and what you do are two different things. So what you're saying is the basis of streaming and how hard it is and how difficult it can be. You don't even do that on your own streams.
Actions to something that may happen in a game. Today when I'm playing Detroit Become Human, something funny may happen in the story. Oh, see my live reaction, you'll like it, right? But, you're not going to take that content and use one snippet of my playthrough as the review of the whole game, right? You're not. So that being said, if I'm going to do an E3 video about E3, and I'm going to do, here's my thoughts about this press conference at E3, it's not going to be a live reaction video where you watch the whole press conference and my silly face going blah, 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 blah. But instead, it's going to be me doing something where I've already digested all the information and review the press conference, which in essence is what I do. I don't want to do live reactionary stuff to E3 press conferences, okay? I want to do a review of the E3 press conference. I feel that's a much more valid thing, all right? Again, if you want to watch the live reactionary stuff, go right ahead. I don't feel that that's valid stuff, all right? Now, if you're watching a game, that's different. It's a long-form, interactive medium. It's meant to be experienced on the fly, as well as abridged, as well as in a review form. There's many different ways that you can digest gameplay. So again, if it's not your cup of tea to watch someone do a long-form playthrough, you don't have to. In my opinion, you know, it's good long-form, it's good abridged, and it's good as a review form. You could digest all of those different ways, and it's different tastes for different folks. There's not one right or wrong way to do anything. And like I said, I'm not one to stand here and say, how dare you watch someone else do a reactionary video. Go watch it if that's what you want, but I'm not going to put out that content because personally, I don't like it. There you go.
But then what gives you the right to call it garbage content? What gives you the right to call it fluff content? And then if you say that all that content is basically targeted to the lowest common denominator of a fan base or of a person even, what does that say about the people who do want to go and see it? Who are within your own fan base, Phil? I'm saying, man, you gotta think before you talk.
Mrhuth just did 100-bit cheer. He says, why does everyone want to see stupid reaction videos? Those can be called the content because the creator doesn't even do anything worthwhile. Well, that's my point. That is my point. I don't think it's worthwhile. I don't think those videos are worthwhile. That's my personal opinion. I'm sure there are people who say, I don't think watching people do Let's Plays are worthwhile. That's their opinion, right? And everyone is welcome to their own opinion. That's the cool thing.
He stuttered. He wanted to say something else, which is obvious, but he stuttered there because he wanted to defend it. He wanted to defend it so badly because he wants to try to justify his situation, which never works, by the way.
About life is that we can agree to disagree, and if you like something, you watch it. If you don't like something, you don't. But don't pressure someone to like something they don't, and don't pressure someone to do something they don't want to do, which is what's happening with me right here on this pre-stream. Everyone's pressuring me to do what's popular for E3 when I don't want to do it because I don't like it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be true to myself, and I'm going to put out content I feel is worthwhile. So there.
Who the hell is pressuring you? If they were really pressuring you, they wouldn't tip you. They wouldn't give you money. And then they could force you to do whatever they wanted, which is what they should be doing anyway. There's nobody with a gun to your head pressuring you to do something. Your content's trash anyway.
There you go.
Jesus Christ, that was
classic is great.
That was pathetic for pathetic's sake, I guess. All right. Anyway, so there you go. That was Phil's stance on intelligent reaction videos on his own content. It's just more stupidity out of Phil, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna expand on it any further. It's Phil just being stupid for the sake of being stupid. He should be smarter than that, but even that is a bit much. In any case, there you guys go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. I'm your host /anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. End the broadcast.